The internet froze for a moment when the footage surfaced, grainy late-night video that suddenly reopened one of the most chilling questions surrounding rapper Kodak Black, because what the world thought was just another chaotic celebrity incident now looked something far darker.
Oh my god!
No, Kodak, you lying. Oh my Kodak, bro. Back up! Back up! Back up! Back up! Hey, listen. Go over here.
Something coordinated, calculated, and terrifyingly close to becoming a murder. At nearly 3 a.m. in Tallahassee, Florida, outside a simple fast food restaurant, someone didn't just want attention. Someone wanted Kodak Black dead. And the newly circulating footage has people asking a question nobody can comfortably answer anymore. Was that night a random act of violence or the execution of a carefully planned hit? When those first seconds of footage began spreading online, the reaction was instant. Fans slowed the clip down frame by frame. Comment sections exploded with theories. And the deeper people looked, the stranger the story started to feel. Because the night that nearly ended Kodak Black's life didn't start with gunfire.
Breakfast at 3 a.m.
No, not here.
So you can't do pancakes?
No, we're not pancakes.
Come on here.
It started like so many nights in the rap world do. Loud music, flashing lights, and a crowd that had come to see one of hip-hop's most controversial stars perform. But to understand why someone might want Kodak Black gone, you have to rewind much further than that night. Long before the fame, the headlines, and the chaos that seems to follow him everywhere, there was a kid named Deucin Octave growing up in Pompano Beach, Florida. A kid raised by a single Haitian immigrant mother in a public housing project called Golden Acres, a place locals
that they are investigating this shooting at right now. We are told this happened around 2:30 this morning. We don't know exactly how badly the victim was hurt. Only confirmed that one person was shot here. They haven't said whether that person survived the shooting or not. We also don't know yet if there is any suspect in custody.
Once described as feeling closer to hell than a neighborhood. Golden Acres was not the kind of place that produces rap stars. It was the kind of place that produces survivors. Poverty wasn't something people escaped easily there. Violence wasn't rare, it was routine. Drugs, gangs, desperation, they weren't occasional problems drifting through the community. They were permanent residents. But somewhere inside that environment, something unusual was happening with Kodak Black. While other kids were simply trying to make it through another day, he was doing something strange for a child surrounded by chaos. He was studying words, dictionaries, thesauruses, vocabulary lists. Language fascinated him. And eventually, those words started turning into lyrics. By elementary school, Kodak was already rapping. By middle school, he was sneaking into neighborhood trap houses just to record music on whatever equipment he could find. The studio might have been a cluttered room in a dangerous house, but to him, it was a doorway out. At 12 years old, he joined his first rap group. By 16, he was dropping mixtapes that started buzzing across South Florida streets. Then came the moment that changed everything, a raw song called No Flockin'. The track exploded locally, but what truly launched Kodak into the spotlight was something nobody expected. One of the biggest artists in the world, Drake, posted a video of himself dancing to the song. Suddenly, the kid from Golden Acres wasn't invisible anymore. Record labels started calling. Atlantic Records eventually signed him. Fans poured in by the millions. The music industry discovered a new star rising from one of the roughest corners of Florida. But fame has a strange effect on street reputations. For some people, it brings admiration. For others, it paints a target. Because the moment Kodak Black stepped into the spotlight, something else happened quietly in the background. The streets that raised him didn't disappear. If anything, they became more dangerous. Now he wasn't just another kid from the projects anymore. He was a celebrity with money, visibility, and enemies both old and new. And by April 4th, 2021, that reality was about to collide with him in the worst possible way. That night in Tallahassee had started like a celebration. Kodak Black was booked as the headlining performer for Culture 3 Fest, an outdoor music festival held at the popular nightclub scene in the city. Thousands of fans showed up. The show went smoothly. Kodak performed, the crowd loved it, and the night rolled forward like any successful tour stop. After the performance wrapped, Kodak and his entourage moved to another appearance, a hosting event at Baja Beach Club on Pensacola Street. By the time everything ended, the night had stretched deep into the early morning hours. It was almost 3 a.m., and like many late nights after concerts, the crew was hungry. So they made a decision that seemed completely ordinary at the time: a quick stop at a McDonald's on West Tennessee Street. Just a burger run before heading back to the hotel. Nothing unusual, nothing dramatic, except something already felt wrong. Multiple vehicles had appeared behind Kodak's convoy while they were leaving the club. Not one car, several. At first it looked like typical nightlife traffic, but the way those cars moved started raising alarms. They weren't just driving nearby, they were following, cutting between lanes, closing distance aggressively, almost like they were trying to trap the vehicles in Kodak's convoy. His security team noticed immediately. They began taking evasive routes through Tallahassee streets, switching directions and trying to lose the cars tailing them. For a brief moment, it looked like the maneuver worked. The suspicious vehicles fell back and disappeared. The team relaxed just enough to pull into the McDonald's parking lot. One of the security vehicles blocked the entrance, creating a protective barrier while Kodak went inside to pick up the food himself. His guards reportedly offered to grab it for him. They insisted, but Kodak decided to go in anyway. Just a quick walk inside. A simple order. In his mind, the danger had already passed, but the cars that had vanished earlier hadn't actually left. They were circling, waiting, watching. One of the vehicles suddenly rolled back into the McDonald's parking lot, slowly at first, almost casually. It looked like someone checking the area before leaving again. Then, it drove off. For a split second, the tension dropped. Maybe the crew had imagined the threat. Maybe they had been overly cautious. Maybe the night really was finally over. But seconds later, the same vehicle returned. And this time, it didn't come quietly. Gunfire erupted across the parking lot in the darkness of early morning. The security guard positioned near the entrance, the man responsible for protecting Kodak Black, was struck by a bullet that tore into the femoral artery in his leg, one of the most dangerous wounds a person can suffer. Blood loss from that artery can become fatal in minutes. Chaos exploded instantly. Security scrambled. People scattered. And within moments, Kodak Black was rushed into an armored vehicle and driven away from the scene. The guard was transported to a hospital in critical condition where emergency surgery ultimately saved his life. But the question hanging over everything was impossible to ignore because the attack didn't look random. Multiple cars, a coordinated pursuit, a temporary retreat to lower the crew's guard, then a deliberate return and open fire. It looked less like an accident and far more like an ambush. And the most chilling part of the entire story, no one was ever publicly arrested for that attack, which means somewhere out there, the people who nearly killed Kodak Black that night may still be walking free. For a few seconds after the shots stopped, the Tallahassee parking lot felt frozen in disbelief. People who had been ordering food moments earlier were now diving behind cars. Tires screeched as vehicles rushed away, and somewhere in the chaos, Kodak Black's security team was forcing him into a vehicle and speeding him away from the scene before the attackers could circle back again. What had started as a simple late-night burger run had suddenly turned into something far darker, a coordinated ambush that could have easily ended the rapper's life. The Tallahassee Police Department quickly confirmed that one person had been seriously injured in the shooting. The security guard who had taken the bullet meant for someone else. Investigators rushed to the scene while flashing lights cut through the quiet Florida night. Officers blocked off the street, questioning witnesses and examining shell casings scattered across the pavement. Meanwhile, the McDonald's franchise owner released a statement emphasizing that the gunfire had not taken place inside the restaurant itself and that employees and customers were safe. But even with those official statements, the mystery only deepened because the way the attack unfolded didn't resemble a random act of violence. It looked precise, planned, deliberate. Think about the details. Multiple vehicles trailing Kodak's convoy through Tallahassee streets. Aggressive driving designed to box them in. A temporary retreat when the security team became suspicious. Then the sudden return once the guards relaxed. That pattern tells a story. It suggests people who had studied their target. People who were patient enough to wait for the perfect moment. And if that interpretation is correct, then the terrifying implication becomes unavoidable. Someone out there had specifically chosen Kodak Black as their target that night. At the time of the shooting, Kodak Black's life was already surrounded by legal complications and public controversy. Just months earlier, he had been released from federal prison after serving time on weapons charges. The conviction had nearly ended his career before it truly reached its peak. But in one of the most surprising political moments of that year, former President Donald Trump commuted Kodak's sentence in January 2021, just hours before leaving office. The decision shocked critics and supporters alike, instantly turning Kodak Black into a symbol of second chances and controversy. After his release, Kodak was placed under strict probation conditions. One of the most serious requirements was that he travel with armed security at all times. That condition, ironically, may have been the exact reason he survived the Tallahassee attack. Because if his security guard had not been standing between him and the gunfire, the outcome of that night might have been very different. Despite the seriousness of the shooting, investigators never publicly revealed a clear motive. No suspects were announced, no arrests were confirmed, and that silence only fueled speculation across social media. Fans began constructing their own theories, each more dramatic than the last. Some believed it was tied to old street conflicts from Kodak's past. Others suspected rivalries within the rap world. Some even suggested jealous acquaintances who felt left behind after Kodak's rise to fame. Kodak himself later addressed the situation during an Instagram live session, attempting to calm the storm of rumors swirling around him. According to him, the shooting had nothing to do with rap beefs or music industry feuds. Instead, he suggested it was connected to street issues, problems from a world that fame doesn't always allow someone to fully escape. And that statement revealed something deeply unsettling about Kodak Black's life. Even after becoming a platinum-selling artist, even after performing on massive stages and signing record deals, the environment he grew up in still seemed to follow him wherever he went. Despite the controversies and court cases, Kodak has repeatedly returned to his hometown community to give back in ways that many critics never expected. Over the years, he has quietly distributed hundreds of Thanksgiving turkeys to struggling families. He has paid rent for more than 200 families in Pompano Beach, not once, but twice. He has handed out air conditioning units to residents of public housing during brutal Florida summers. He has bought bicycles and Christmas gifts for children who might otherwise have gone without. Much of this work has been done through the Zachariah McQueen Foundation, an organization focused on helping communities across South Florida. And in a moment that surprised many observers, the city of Pompano Beach publicly honored him for those efforts. On July 8, 2025, Mayor Rex Harden presented Kodak Black with the key to the city, one of the highest recognitions a hometown government can give. It was a remarkable moment. A rapper who had spent years entangled in legal trouble, who had survived shootings, prison sentences, and endless controversy, was now being recognized by the same community that once watched him grow up in poverty. Yet even as Kodak Black stood there receiving that honor, the shadow of danger had not completely disappeared, because the truth revealed by the Tallahassee ambush remains impossible to ignore. That night wasn't just about a rapper grabbing food after a concert. It was about how thin the line can be between success and survival, between platinum records and parking lot gunfire, between a man giving away rent money to families in need and a man being hunted by people who believe his past still belongs to them. Kodak Black once grew up hearing a brutal message repeated in neighborhoods like Golden Acres, that there were only two outcomes waiting for young men there: the streets or the grave. He chose music, he chose fame, he chose to build a life far beyond the place he started. But the events of that night in Tallahassee, the shots fired in West Hollywood, and the violence connected to feuds around him all suggest one unsettling truth. Escaping the streets doesn't always mean the streets stop chasing you.